This ain't no echo chamber. We're unlocking any chain. The devil's advocate speaking, cutting through the fog. Let us explain. Yeah.
Pull up, turn the volume, let the bass ignite. Devil's advocates, that's the channel. Together we fight. They ain't here to echo what the masses preach. They challenge beliefs, putting truth within reach. Flip the script, reverse the lens, ain't no fear to provoke. Unpopular opinions, watch the stagnant water smoke. They dissect the narratives, poke holes in the facade. Sharpening the mind, ain't no truth they'll disregard.
This ain't no echo chamber. We're unlocking any chain. Devil's advocate speaking, cutting through the fog. Let us explain.
See, the description hit hard, that's the blueprint to code. Not everyone likes it, but that's the path they strode. Challenging beliefs, that's the mission, the aim. Flipping tables on conventional, fanning intellectual flame. Stepping opposing view, not for conflicts embrace, but to sharpen the blade of truth. Leave no logical trace of error or bias or thoughts that just float. They dig to the core, let the arguments bloat with substance and reason, not just empty retort. They building up thinkers, a mental fortress of thought.
This ain't no echo chamber. We're unlocking any chain. Devil's advocate speaking, cutting through the fog. Let us explain.
You don't go by always being right, that's a stagnant pool. Growth comes from questioning, breaking every rigid rule. Honest conversations, bold questions, a few uncomfortable facts. They lay it all bare, no turning back, no looking back. Seeking clarity over debate, either way you win. They push you to understand where your own thoughts begin. So hit that subscribe button, let the knowledge unfurl. The devil's advocates, changing your whole world. Yeah, it might make you squirm, but that's how you transcend. Listen to the devil's advocates till the very end.
Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to know why I'm here today? It's not because I want to give you a pep talk or because I want to make you feel good about yourselves. No, I'm here to tell you the truth.
All right, welcome into the Luigi Manjoni special evening. And right now, of course, I'm going up against big names because if you don't know already, Lana and Bertie are going live together. And I think they're probably talking about Idaho 4. The good thing for you is that they don't compete with the Luigi story. So if you're into the Luigi Manjoni story or case, then you're in the right place since they're going live and they're probably talking about Idaho 4. Pretty positive, but those are some big names to go up against. And so I want to give you a moment to realize two things because I'm a fair guy and I'll do this at my own detriment. If you are not here, or sorry, if you are here for Idaho 4, you probably want to be somewhere else. I should never send you away. But the point being is that this is going to be special on Luigi Manjoni. I'm going to try to cover 3 cases, actually 4 cases. Idaho 4 is one of those, but tonight is dedicated to Luigi Manjoni. Tomorrow night would normally be dedicated to Rex Heuermann and the Long Island serial killer case. Now, the problem with that is that I'm heading to Crime Con tomorrow morning. I'll be driving. I'm going to be checking into a hotel in time for my live tomorrow. So I'm not ruling out the possibility that I will be talking on the live as I travel to Aurora, Colorado for Crime Con. But whether or not I'll be prepared for Rex Heuermann or not, I don't know. So just giving you a little bit of a heads up again, for in case you are here for anything other than Luigi. This is a Luigi Manjoni night. We're going to cover some news and some things that are going on in Luigi's case. Not a whole lot going on in the Luigi Manjoni case, other than a bunch of smear campaign stuff. Again, tons and tons and tons of articles about how Luigi Manjoni is inspiring violence across the country, and anything that happens in this country is Luigi Manjoni's fault. There's that narrative going on. I'll show you a little bit about that, but I will show you the other side of the coin that they don't want to admit, is that Luigi Manjoni may be already having an effect on our healthcare system in a positive way. Really big article that I want to accentuate for that tonight. And again, I want to repeat that I don't believe in vigilante justice. So in case that you're thinking I'm this person who's coming out here saying, hey, great, Luigi Manjoni shot somebody and that's okay with us, that's not the purpose of this case. It's to point out, one, that Luigi Manjoni is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. We don't even know if he is the shooter. And while they say, as they always say, we know for a fact it's Luigi Manjoni, that's the prosecution's position, and that's always going to be the prosecution's stance. We don't know what the defense is going to put up and whether or not they're going to argue Luigi Manjoni wasn't even there. That is a possibility. It also is possible that Karen Agnifilo in the state of New York and the federal government case in New York is going to say, yeah, our guy was there, but you have to understand why he did it, and that may be used to mitigate that thing down from, for example, second-degree murder to manslaughter. We've talked about that a little bit. We can talk about it again tonight. But let's take a moment to talk about those people who haven't left me yet. I gave you plenty of opportunity to leave me, so that now that you haven't left me, let's say hi to some people in the room. I noticed, by the way, we had somebody brand new. I'm going to make sure Robin has a microphone, by the way. Robin, are you there?
I'm here. Hey,
All right.
everybody.
Hey, so Robin is in the wings, the silent face, but the vocal voice, something like that. Anyway, she's hanging in the wings to make sure they don't miss anything. But because tonight's pretty laid back and it's a packed night, I'm heading out of town. We're going to take it pretty easy. So Essie, I want to say hi to you. One's back from vacation, I believe. I sure hope you're back from vacation and you're not on vacation right now, but I'm pretty sure you said that you're back from vacation. So welcome. And of course, Robin, I've introduced. She's in there. Kimberly, one of my mods, she's here, and a big Luigi Manjoni follower as far as that case goes. So Kimberly, this is a good night for you. And if you have anything, by the way, that I'm missing tonight, Kimberly, make sure you point it out and say, hey, how come you didn't talk about XYZ? Because I have my show notes, but doesn't mean I don't miss anything. Michelle also, I think Luigi Manjoni, big supporter. So Michelle's in here. Free Luigi. I wonder if Free Luigi is a Luigi Manjoni supporter. I don't know. It's got a picture of, I think, pretty clear to see that Free Luigi is on that side of that thing. And one. Of course, as always, like we talked about him, Shelby Saeed, that's a new name, I think. And who was the person who was, well, it's a newer name that I didn't see recently. Let's see, who else? There was a name, Dreaded Panda. I think Dreaded Panda said this is their first live that they've made. So Dreaded Panda, one of my traditions that I try to do is when someone tells me this is the first time I've made a live, you're up. Anything you say, we're going to be paying extra attention to and probably putting it featured on the screen so we can answer your questions. If you do so. Man, I feel like I've got a yellowish light. Usually my light's pretty white. Why am I so yellow tonight? My lights are white. So what the hell? My white balance on my camera must be all screwed up. Yeah, I probably never stop talking, by the way, in case you're wondering for when I'm going to take a breath, but that's what I do. All right, what else do we got? I know we're missing somebody. So Dreaded Panda, you're up. If you got to have anything to throw out this, give us a question, a comment, or a concern. We'll be watching for that. Love Vanity 6. Marie here. The Luigi supporters are here. Oh, by the way, make sure you tell me where you're from. I love to know where people are calling in from or watching in from. That's always fun because I know we have stuff from all over. I like Pretty Princess Sana says they're here from Los Angeles. So welcome from Los Angeles. Very, very cool. And where am I flying into? I think anyways, I gotta stay over in San Francisco coming up for my trip to New York. That's a whole different thing. Not Los Angeles. Anyways, side tangent. That's what I do. There'll be, I have a feeling there'll be huge crowds in the courthouse. They must be talking about Luigi Manjoni's appearance on September 16th. I've seen posters up. There's posters online. Make sure you show up to support Luigi Manjoni September 16th in New York. So we'll see about that. Dreaded Panda. Lee! Hey, that's me. See, I told you I was going to pay attention. Look at this. I'm even going to do what I said. I'm going to put you on screen. Bam! Lee! How you doing? Anyway, to the hearing. Let us. What else do we have here? I'm just trying to catch up. I'll rearrange my schedule to be here to watch and listen to this. Free Luigi. Yes, thank you very much for rearranging schedule. That's very cool. And let's see. Kimberly, Michelle. I'm just trying to see if I'm missing anything. Am I missing anything, Robin?
I don't believe you're on the ball.
Who took off for the 9/16 hearing? I will tell you this: the 9/16 hearing in New York, there was a man, it's going to be a tough one on whether that court case gets postponed. I can't remember what the latest thing was, but there was a new filing, right, that could potentially rearrange that schedule. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully, if you're planning the trip to New York for that, you have trip insurance, because there's a possibility that 9/16 court hearing will be rescheduled or moved, and that would suck, because they don't give a rip how many people from all over the country are coming to go show up to the 9/16 hearing. I heard they have an overflow room, however, so if you can't get into the main courtroom, you should be able to get into an overflow. So there's that. But who wants to travel across the country just to be in an overflow room? So make sure you get there nice and early. And I have no idea what that's going to look like in New York City. So Free Luigi's on the West Coast, like myself. And so when the trial date is decided, I'm booking my ticket to New York. Yeah, I'm going to try to be there for a part of that as well. I also am on the West Coast, so I got a lot of traveling to do. Penny is calling in. She's got, looks like there's that imp symbol. It gets so confused. I'm gonna let that go. Robin knows what I'm talking about. I have to let that go. Penny, welcome in. And who else do we got? I'm just trying to make sure we're caught up. All right. Oddly enough, Red Panda's from Oregon. Very cool. You know that probably as well, that I'm from Oregon. So as well, actually I'm from Washington State, but now I live in Oregon. So I'm a Pacific Northwester through and through. And so SE, Pennsylvania, Dallas, Texas for Kimberly, of course, Houston, Texas for Love Vanity. Very cool. Very, very cool. My birthday is 2 days after, so I took off for my birthday. Nice job. Excellent. All right. Boring Indiana. However, I was in the movie. You were in the movie Hoosiers. Very, very cool. That's something. That is something. So I have been to Indiana. I'm almost positive I've been to Indiana. And my wife's been to Indiana. Pretty sure as well. Anyway, Kokomo, is that Indiana? Kokomo, Indiana. My wife's not even supposed to. She was like the disembodied voice from the other side of the fucking curtain. So anyways, yeah. So wife has been to Kokomo, Indiana, where she met, by the way, Mike Pence. Well, sort of met Mike Pence. He walked through the building and did a tour. Anyways, it's a long story. I digress. Watching from southeastern Kentucky. Kentucky, by the way, I have got a letter into Kentucky for Mickey Stein's case. I think it's in Kentucky. So that's another case I'm going to start watching. I've got an email into the jail trying to get the confirmation of Mickey Stein's or Sean Mickey Stein's inmate number, so I can write to the inmates. Part of what I do in the cases I follow. So Kentucky is in the house, and you thought I would be caught up, but I keep going. From San Francisco, Red Panda's from San Francisco, but been in Oregon for 35 years. And Pacific Northwest in the house. Yes. All right. So here we are, Lecter County, Paisley Park from Lecter County. Letcher County, not Lecter, Letcher County. Where's Letcher County? Massachusetts. Am I all packed for my trip? I am not 100% packed for my trip. I am like 25% packed for my trip. However, I pack pretty quick. So I can go from 25 to 100% packed in a matter of an hour. So there's that. All right. Judge Kevin Mullins. Yes. Lecter County. Thank you. Letcher County. That's from Judge Kevin Mullins. That was the victim in that shooting in Kentucky that I'm going to follow. Okay, we're caught up. Let's talk Luigi Manjoni. You've heard me ramble enough. So let's pull some stuff on screen. Robin, if you have a moment you want to talk, go ahead while I rearrange the screen.
Alrighty. I hope everybody's having a good night. Wow. People are starting to come in now. Excellent. We're going to have a great Luigi show as always.
Nice. All right, so let's take a peek here real quick. Again, Robin is there to try to catch my attention when I get on a ramble, which I tend to do. This on screen is the Devil's Advocates website, devilsadvocates.info, which, by the way, there is, if you're going to CrimeCon, make sure you let me know. I'm bringing merchandise. I've got pictures. I've got stuff. I've got pullovers. I've got zipper hoodies. I've got V-neck tees for women. I'm going to have that loaded in the car for those who haven't pre-ordered. Pre-orders are being shipped right now. My wife literally is on the other side of this wall behind me, literally putting together the packing slips and the orders that we have pre-ordered on my first ever merchandise run of Devil's Advocates, so that I can actually wear my own logo. I've got an email in to meet certain people at CrimeCon, so hopefully I'll get an interview there as well. I've got lights, I've got cameras, I've got action. I'm planning on going to Aurora with my lights and my cameras, and hoping to get an interview or two, perhaps, that I can set up in a hotel room or do some freaky stuff. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, I've covered. I got cameras. So there's that. And we'll talk about what I've got on tap now for the Luigi Manjoni case. Now, I'm using this new thing called Glass, which lets me single out some news stories. I'm trying to decide which way I want to go with first. I'm going to start with here, I think. There's a new documentary. For frick's sake, there's a new documentary on Luigi Manjoni coming out. This is one of the things that drives me nuts. I love that. On top of that, the huge giant pop-up ad on top of looking at a screen. From News Nation, Alex Gibney has been tapped to direct a new Luigi Manjoni documentary. August 27, 2025, Oscar-winning filmmaker Alex Gibney is set to direct the upcoming Hulu special about Luigi Manjoni. He's been greenlit for the project, and filming is underway. It drives me insane to some extent that the media is allowed to keep making as many pieces about Luigi Manjoni and telling you exactly how you should feel about Luigi Manjoni over and over and over again. If you recall, in this case, Luigi Manjoni's attorney said that she was having to learn things about her own client from the media. She has to watch documentaries to find out what the prosecution's case is against her client. That shit should be coming out in Discovery. She shouldn't be getting it from frickin' TMZ. TMZ should not be telling her what the prosecution is up to. The prosecution is supposed to be telling her what they're up to. But no, Karen Agnifilo has complained that I have to watch documentaries to find out what you guys are doing against my client. Another documentary is coming out now from Hulu with an Oscar-winning filmmaker, Alex Gibney, directing that. On the positive side, and I don't know if it was this article, I hope that it is. Let's see. There was one positive side about the review that they said that oh man, is it in this article? I had more than one article about this. The only positive thing was that it made it sound like the documentary is going to focus on the bigger social issue. That is, what is wrong with the healthcare system in America that we got to this kind of point. So there's that positive potential spin, which is not just here's a monster who killed an innocent man and father of two in New York City, allegedly. Let's not forget that the shooter had a mask on, so you don't know who exactly it was. They're telling you for sure it's Luigi Manjoni, but he has his presumption of innocence until proven guilty in a court of law. But they actually indicated that part of it was going to be that social discussion. What went wrong that this was a thing? One of the things that I wanted to point out, by the way, before I get into a positive thing, let's take a look at this. Let's see, add this to stage. Can you see? You can't really see that very well, can you? Damn it. You can't see this very well. This article right here on screen, well, actually, it's a screenshot of about 6 or 7 different news agencies. Let me see if I can pull it up on my screen so I can see it a little bit better. But this is all there is in the news lately. Luigi Manjoni is inspiring other people to commit acts of violence. That is what the prosecution wants you to believe as well. The prosecution wants you to believe Luigi Manjoni must be put to death because he is inspiring people all over the world to commit acts of violence. Based, for example, on the recent shooting in New York from an NFL, supposedly a person disgruntled with the NFL. And somehow they're tying that to Luigi Manjoni. With titles like this, NBC News, prosecutors say Luigi Manjoni is inspiring others to violence. CBS News headline, United Healthcare's CEO, alleged killer Luigi Manjoni is inspiring others towards violence. ABC News, Luigi Manjoni may have influenced mass shootings at Manhattan's NFL headquarters. The Daily Beast, prosecutors want Luigi Manjoni dead to deter copycats. News Nation, Luigi Manjoni is accused of inspiring violence in a second shooting. Newsweek, Luigi Manjoni may have inspired the NFL shooters, prosecutors say. So that is all over the news. Luigi Manjoni is inspiring people to go out and kill other people. And here's their tie-in. The NFL shooter left some notes, a manifesto, just like Luigi Manjoni. So clearly they're related. if you have not been following this case, you do not realize how ridiculously asinine every part of that was. Luigi Mangione, if he did have a notebook in his possession, which is still under argument, didn't publish a manifesto. We've gone over that a million times. The other guy did supposedly publish a manifesto. Secondly, the shooter in New York took steps to make sure that no innocent person was hit. The shooter that went into the NFL headquarters shot a cop, shot random people, shot an executive, shot multiple people, shot himself. Luigi Mangione didn't shoot himself. So there's no similarities in these shootings whatsoever. And yet mainstream media, if you look at those articles I've got posted up there on the screenshot, mainstream media is all over it. Luigi Mangione is a threat to our country because he's inspiring people to go shoot other people, just like that NFL shooter. There is no freaking connection between Luigi Mangione and this other shooting whatsoever. So it is a complete 100% hit piece, as they typically do. Now, a couple random things that I thought were interesting. Let me pull this up. There's a new movie called, what was it called? It's a new movie called Dead Man's Wire. It's about a guy who goes in and basically by shotgun takes over a CEO because he's disgruntled at the system, not of healthcare. But anyways, lots of articles are coming out about this, about how creepy it is, the similarities between Luigi Mangione, because again, anything that has anything to do with fighting the system is becoming a Luigi Mangione inspired movie or show. There's not much really honestly there, but here's another one, Begonia. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it, but Begonia. This one had a famous actress who's saying how creepy it is that she just finished a movie that has similarities to Luigi Mangione. And apparently that article is just not going to open for me. That's fantastic. Let's try that one more time. New documentary. Begonia. Here it is. Open link. One more time. Emma Stone. There you go. Emma Stone finds terrifying parallels between Begonia and Luigi Mangione. So again, another movie that just got shot. This one, I think, had another one of those against the system. In the movie, Emma Stone plays a high-powered CEO of a medical company. At least this one's closer. That is kidnapped by a pair of conspiracy-obsessed young men who are convinced that she's an alien intent on destroying the planet Earth. So she finds there's a creepy similarity between Luigi Mangione and that movie, that she may be an alien trying to take over the planet. But the point being is that you link everything you can to Luigi Mangione. This is what we do in this country at this point. Now, I want to save the best for last. By the way, do we have anything going on that I need to address, Robin?
Well, one has some questions, of course. One is, if his influence vanished overnight, who would still stand by him?
If his influence vanished overnight, who would still stand by him? Has he ever manipulated a situation to protect his own reputation? Are we talking about Luigi Mangione? If his influence vanished overnight. Yeah. I mean, that's a tough, I don't even know how to answer that question, because I mean, obviously a lot of people are standing by him because they view him as basically a defender of the little people. Other people stand by him because they think he's a sex symbol. We'll get into that a little bit as well. But yeah, if he were to suddenly vanish, that movement, if there's a movement, that movement would probably die with that. But there was another question I saw that I thought was really interesting. Yeah, one has a million questions, right? Is his legacy built on genuine impact or carefully crafted perception? Oh, one, you're asking questions that are so difficult. I mean, there's an argument to be made that Luigi Mangione very much knows what he's doing. In fact, that's one of the arguments the prosecution's having with Luigi Mangione, is that he's manipulating the public. He knows how to get sympathy from the public, and he's working the public perception to build a case for himself. But I think it doesn't do away with the bigger picture of what's wrong in America that we got to this point. So we'll set that aside for the moment. Yeah, I did a, Shelby, you probably already know this, but I did a hour and something long episode on my breakdown of Folk Hero by Law and Order, which Karen Agnifilo, Luigi Mangione's attorney, was an advisor to Law and Order. So I did a whole special on that and what the message they were trying to send with that, and a really interesting idea about putting the healthcare system on trial in this case. All right, so let's get into let's get into something else. This I thought was worthy of talking about. Does Luigi Mangioni's clothes, are they an effort to manipulate the public? Does the clothing make the man? Now, this particular story, why I thought was a little bit interesting, is they try to point out that when the courtroom fashion serves a calculated legal strategy. So here's American journalist E. Jean Carroll. This was the one that Trump was saying that, that she was saying Trump was inappropriate to her. And he's like, she's not even my type of woman. She literally says her goal in dressing up the way she did for her trial, to be blunt, in an interview with Katie Couric, was to make myself more fuckable. She actually apparently said that to Katie Couric. I dressed up to make myself look more fuckable in the jury's eyes. Why? Because Trump was trying to make it sound like she's a dumpy frump of a person who he would never give second thoughts to. So she was actually trying to show the jury that she could be a good-looking woman, and therefore a man might hit on her. And so she dressed a certain way to get the jury's sympathy, to prove that she's not a frumpy woman who doesn't deserve to be sexually harassed. If that isn't weird as shit. Then we've got a case where they point out these hockey players. This is five former Canadian junior hockey players accused of a sexual crime, I believe. And what they dressed up with, according to this, is they dressed up in suits with very thin ties, specifically, according to the article, to decentuate that they're big, muscular guys. They were trying to look wafy, thin, narrow suits, and try to get themselves to not look like big, athletic men who brutalized somebody or took advantage of their size, and tried to downplay that to look like just common everyday guy in thin suits that make them look smaller and not so intimidating. And that, they said, was a play on the jury to try to take away their physical presence. And then they get to Luigi Mangioni, the yuppie. And so they say this, I'm trying to make sure we get to the right place on Luigi. So here we go. So the strategy of wardrobe conformity stands in sharp contrast to the fashion approach taken by Luigi Mangioni, accused of killing Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. In his first court appearance on February 21st, he appeared in dark green khaki knit sweater, white collared shirt, plain pale khakis, and sockless penny loafers. And yes, we had pictures all over America of his feet shackled underneath the table with his penny loafers on, and people literally were talking about, oh my God, he's got such great fashion sense. It was a little nuts. But anyways, this aesthetic of what American economist Thornton Velbin, or whatever it termed, conspicuous leisure, serves to the proof, I hate that, sartorial, that's a big word, proof of a body so exempt from drudgery that it need not confine itself with mere comforts. Its elegance appears innate and effortless. His preppy aesthetic, with its old money Ivy League polish, projected an elite status that commands automatic respect. It suggests his privilege was a guarantee of his character. The hockey players' suits were a plea for entry. Mangioni's ensemble was a claim of birthright, one that is earned other than inherited. So they're trying to say his green sweater, his look, is to show the Ivy League educated boy who comes from wealth, and therefore is a cut above the rest of us. Is that the message that would really serve Luigi Mangioni the most? But anyways, Mangioni's fashion narrative surged from the courtroom into America's culture wars, turning him into a polarizing folk hero. The internet's fascination with Mangioni, dubbed the suspect a hot assassin or online sex symbol, reveals just how perceived credibility was deeply entwined with desirability and rooted in class performance. For his supporters, Mangioni's preppy elegance did not signal guilt, but instead a show of aesthetic resistance. He was recast not as a privileged defendant, but as a glamorous avenger taking on the reviled health insurance system. In his final chaotic stage of courtroom visual economy, there's a lot of big words in this thing. These people really, really love their education. Anyways, his fashion was politicized. The aesthetic became an empty vessel to be filled with the public's own fears, frustrations, and ideological fantasies. In our hyper-visual age, case after case, the courtroom is a stage where clothing does the arguing. Fashion assigns credibility, stirs sympathy, and tilts the scale of belief. Consider the outcome. Carol walked away with $88.3 million. They're claiming because she dressed nice and was more fuckable. 5 hockey players walked free because they wore suits with thin ties and looked a little bit less intimidating. Manjoni, draped in his country club casuals, hangs in the balance, the fate buoyed by a public captivated by his fashion spectacle. So, is Luigi Manjoni's fashion sense going to win over a jury? I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. And so I'm sharing it with you because I have nothing else to talk about Luigi Manjoni other than some weird ass stories, which catch my attention. And that's my job. Warren Buffett. Let's talk. We're working away to progressively meatier topics before we get to the end of the night. By the way, is there any comments, questions, or concerns from what I've done so far? He's a cutie patootie, says Shelby. He's a cutie patootie. That was the official statement. Luigi Manjoni is a sex symbol and a cutie patootie. So anyways, yes, a lot of people like the look of Luigi Manjoni. One has argued, I have often, this is a statement. I should be careful about this. This is a statement. Like, you know, I always ask myself, would Luigi Manjoni be as hot if he wasn't on the world stage? If you had met Luigi Manjoni on a street corner, would women be fawning over this guy as much as they're fawning over him now? Or is part of it the publicity and the cameras and the notoriety and what he allegedly supposedly did and why? Like, what is the magic sauce? Because I have to wonder. I've seen a lot of guys who are a lot better than Luigi Manjoni who get a lot less people's obsessing about how good looking he is. So I just have to wonder sometimes how far does that go? All right. Warren Buffett stock prices picks before stepping down. Warren Buffett is one of the richest men in America. He's a huge money guy, and he's 95 and about to retire. But he recently dumped a bunch of money on United Healthcare. I'm going to change what's on stage. Let's see, remove this, add this. There's Warren Buffett. I didn't mean to not show you what I'm talking about. Warren Buffett's shares stock picks before stepping down. He just invested a crap ton of money in United Healthcare because United Healthcare stock took a beating after the shooting of Brian Thompson, allegedly by Luigi Manjoni. Now, one could argue Warren Buffett's move was a good strategic move. In other words, the stock price cut in half. What was, I think, $600 a share became $300 a share in a very short period of time. One could argue Warren Buffett just simply went, I know that United Healthcare is not going anywhere, and that temporary setback is a half price deal. I'm going to go and buy the fuck ton out of United Healthcare stock because when it comes back, I just made myself a shit ton of money. Now, a bunch of investors watch everything that Warren Buffett does, and so when he invested 1.6, is that what it was? He purchased 5 million shares of United Health in the last quarter, a stake worth $1.6 billion as of the end of June. So he put $1.6 billion into United Healthcare, betting on the fact that their stock's going to rebound. The fact that he did put that much money in did rebound their stock. Just that huge purchase of their stock made their stock go back up again. So I just thought it was interesting. These guys manipulate the markets. Again, United Healthcare stock faced steep losses after CEO Brian Thompson was shot dead by Luigi Manjoni. I don't know where that word allegedly is. He's shot dead allegedly by Luigi Manjoni. Allegedly, for fuck's sake, where's the word allegedly? But he was shot dead by Luigi Manjoni. We know it's a fact. He hasn't had his day in trial, but we know he did it. So in December 2024, plunging them from $600 in April to around $310 in June. And then Buffett, known for finding bargains and beat down companies, seized the downturn. He bought, again, $1.6 billion of stock and raised their prices and immediately started to make a windfall for people. So that's what Warren Buffett does. Buffett, who turns 95 this year, has faced difficulty deploying Berkshire's cash as market valuations remained elevated, blah, 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 blah. It's all about money, guys. But the point being is that these are stories that I find interesting in the Luigi Manjoni story at the moment. What else? Looking through the comments before I get into one of the meatier things. By the way, someone pointed this out to me on my website today. Why the fuck are certain pages not loading properly? All right. That's horrible. That's horrible. You know what we're going to do? We're just going to go to, we're going to go back and we're going to do this. Wikipedia. Remember, never look at my search history when I'm typing shit. That's fucking not healthy for any of us. Someone just pointed out to me there's a really good summary of Luigi Manjoni on this website. So I've got on my website, right here, I've got a Luigi Manjoni page right there, which has a summary, including a bunch of stuff in green, which I call follow the money. So if you want to hear my theory about why there's a money angle to this and why money is a big issue and why Brian Thompson may have been shot because of money issues, follow those green texts. But I've got a lot of stuff on here, Luigi Manjoni. But someone pointed out to me, this article from Wikipedia has a really good summary, a really good breakdown of what happened on what day, what the key players are, some details about the arrest, the handwritten documents in his possession, the state and federal charges, all 11 counts here laid out for you. I think that's the state case. This is the federal case, I believe, here, 4 charges, and then there's a Pennsylvania case as well. So anyways, if you want a nice rundown, just go to wikipedia.com and type in Luigi Manjoni and look for that. It's got a really good breakdown of a lot of stuff. All right, let's save some of the best for last. RFK. Let's see if I can blow this up big enough. And it would be great if my highlights that I made today were to actually show up. But of course, technical difficulties abound today. So RFK, who is Trump's, what's the position he got appointed to? It's in this article and I forgot what it was, but we're gonna come to it. So RFK Jr. announces most insurance companies will now give immediate pre-authorization. What's that? Did you
Secretary of Health and Human Services?
Secretary of Human Health and Services. Yeah, there you go. So RFK, listen to this. This is what drives me nuts. This article has Luigi Manjoni on the front cover of this article from the New York Sun. Front cover, look at that, right underneath the headline. Luigi Manjoni's featured there. The article will tell you that insurance companies have suddenly decided that they're going to stop denying people's claims as much as they used to. And you know what RFK does? RFK Jr. gives Donald Trump the credit for it. You, Donald Trump, this is done because of you, because of your leadership. Insurance companies are turning around. While featuring Luigi Manjoni, who shot and killed the CEO, allegedly, of United Healthcare, and they're terrified about people like Luigi Manjoni coming after the insurance industry because people are afraid of the fact that insurance companies are killing people from their denial of claims. But no, RFK Jr. is going to give Donald Trump all the credit, saying, because of your leadership, sir, you have changed America and healthcare is getting better. So I have to highlight this. Insurance practices gained heightened security after Luigi Manjoni allegedly gunned down the CEO of United Healthcare over costs. Okay, so right off the bat, the insurance industry gained heightened scrutiny after Luigi Manjoni shot Brian Thompson allegedly, and yet RFK Jr. will tell us that Donald Trump is the reason why he's going to save America. The Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has announced a historic agreement with insurance companies that they will now give immediate pre-authorization on most medical procedures prescribed by doctors. Well, that sounds like a really good thing. Too bad we couldn't have fucking done that earlier. And by the way, this article will tell you they promised this before and never delivered. So it's nothing new. It's lip service because the country's pissed off. Now, the prior authorization system requires insurers to approve medical tests, procedures, and medications before patients can receive them, a cost control measure that has become increasingly controversial among healthcare providers and patients. So, at heart of the United Healthcare situation and why Brian Thompson was shot and killed was the denials of claims. Their company, under Brian Thompson's watch, had started to employ AI technologies to decline or reject people's claims for insurance at unprecedented numbers. There was 80% or better wrong. It was incorrectly denying people's claims for insurance coverage 80% of the time incorrectly. But you know what it was doing? It was making their stockholders a shit ton of money, and they loved it. And Brian Thompson was going there that morning that he was shot to brag about how much money he's made them since employing AI technology and denying people their rights to claims of insurance. We're not going to cover anybody, and your profits are going to go through the roof. Praise Jesus. Okay, I shouldn't have said that. Don't mean to offend anybody, but that's the attitude it was. And somebody shot him for it. Whether it was Luigi Manjoni or somebody else, there's a lot of people in America that were pissed about that kind of attitude. But Now we have, according to RFK Jr., we have an historic agreement on pre-authorization, Mr. Kennedy told President Trump during a 2-hour cabinet meeting at the White House. We've brought together 80% of the insurance industry, which has agreed for 80% of disease and injuries, give immediate pre-authorization so that when you go to your doctor's office and he prescribes you a new knee or whatever it is, you will immediately know whether your insurance company is going to pay for it. Well, that sounds like a great fucking thing. We probably should have had that before somebody had to die. But who gets the credit for that? People have been trying to do this for decades, and we, because of your leadership, Donald Trump, because of your leadership, have brought the insurance industry together and got them to voluntarily agree to do this. I don't know how much I can express this other than this. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Luigi Manjoni is the biggest threat in America to you because he's inspiring people against the insurance industry. And then you say, Donald Trump, because of your leadership, goddammit, we're going to change America. The insurance companies are ready to play ball because of your leadership. The insurance practice gained heightened scrutiny after the December shooting of Brian Thompson. So once again, after praising Donald Trump for fixing healthcare in America, they go right back to Luigi Manjoni as what actually started that conversation. The insurance practice gained heightened security after the December shooting of Brian Thompson, CEO of the United Healthcare Insurance Division at New York City. The alleged shooter, there's the word alleged, it would have been great if we would have that more often. The alleged shooter, Luigi Manjoni, has become somewhat of a modern-day folk hero, and the company later faced numerous allegations that it was far too stringent on granting pre-authorizations. So let me break this down for you. Somebody shoots your CEO, and people are mad and saying that it's because you guys were doing denials of claims. And now Donald Trump has come in to save America. And because of Donald Trump's leadership, the insurance companies are now going to stop denying your claims as much as they used to. Oh my God, dude. The issue first arose in June when Mr. Kennedy said that he was working with insurance companies on pre-authorization. On Tuesday, the secretary said that most health insurers have promised to take steps to streamline the often criticized authorization process. Oh, you guys want to take steps to approve things more often? I wonder why that happened. What could it be? What could have caused that? Strong leadership from the White House? Probably. When discussing the issue in June, Mr. Kennedy said that he was working with 7 major companies, including Blue Cross Blue Shield Association, Cigna, Elevance Health, GuideWell, Humana, Kaiser Permanente, and United Healthcare. Oh, look who's coming to play ball, United Healthcare. The changes would apply across private insurance, Medicare Advantage, and Medicaid plans, he said, but Mr. Kennedy in June also warned that insurance companies made similar reform pledges in 2018 and 2013 that largely went unimplemented. So what does that mean? They lie all the time. Anytime the public starts to get a little pissed off about how they're denying your claims, they say, you know what, we're going to totally fix that. Because of Donald Trump's fucking leadership, we're going to fucking completely change this. And then everybody stops listening and they're like, okay, go back to the business as usual, bitches. We got profits to make. We made another. RFK Jr. is not done praising and swinging off the dick of Donald Trump. So let's continue to swing off the dick of Donald Trump. And this is not a political show, by the way. So please understand, I'm not busting just Donald Trump's ass. I don't care who's in office. I have problems with politicians up and down the spectrum. We made another historic agreement with personal health records, he said. The 60 biggest tech companies in our country have all agreed to allow Americans for the first time to access their personal data, which they own and which companies have been monetizing without their permission. Oh, look, 60 of the biggest tech companies are now going to let people see their own fucking medical data. It's how nice of you guys. I'm sure that's because of Donald Trump's leadership in the White House. You're going to be able to see by next year all of your health records on your cell phone. It's going to save lives. It's going to save lives. Denials of claims were taking lives. But now, thanks to Donald Trump's leadership, he's going to save lives. It's going to fuel an infusion of technology into the space where people can access these records. They can compare their diet to what they personally need, and we'll have personalized medicine, Kennedy says. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so glad somebody has come to save America. Mr. Kennedy also told Mr. Trump, we're doing price transparency. You pass this, You passed this during your, yeah, I can see JFK swinging off of his Johnson. Dude, you did this for us your first term. You did this for us for America. You're saving us all. It couldn't have anything to do with Luigi Manjoni. Am I playing it up too much, Robin?
No, do it more.
The swinging off of the Johnson was a special move, even for me. This is why I've got it. This is why I got a parental advisory, explicit content warning on my screen. Mr. Kennedy also told Trump, we are doing price transparency. You passed this during your first term, and then the Biden administration, those evil bastard Democrats, refused to enforce it. We've now brought in HHS under your leadership and my leadership and more enforcement actions. And during the entire 4 years of the Biden administration, we're going to have that kind of price transparency. So politicize Luigi Manjoni, praise Donald Trump for all the actions that might be happening in a positive direction in health insurance for the first time in forever, and just give Trump all the credit, while Trump says, let's make sure we execute Luigi Manjoni as the most dangerous man in America. I don't even know how to really address that properly. How is it that listen to this, how is it that I have to be super, super careful to not be portrayed as a vigilante or believing in vigilante justice? I can't even remotely suggest to you that somebody shooting Brian Thompson might have a positive effect on America and might make insurance companies change their bullshit tactics and stop fucking America. I can't say that without running a risk of getting kicked off of every platform for basically celebrating violence. But these guys can come in and say, oh, after Brian Thompson was shot, your leadership, Donald Trump, has led to a change in the entire industry. What is wrong with our country that I have to be careful what I say, and they can say whatever the fuck they want all day long, every day. All right. What else do we have? I think I'm going to leave us a good, I'm getting ready to pack, people. I'm getting ready to pack. And I think that I've spent my wad, no pun intended. I think that I've done. So this is a time for us to just reflect, relax. Tell me if you guys have any comments, questions, or concern. What do you think? Did Donald Trump save America by having insurance companies rush in to do the right thing because of his leadership? What do you guys think? Give me some thoughts. And be careful, because we don't want to get demonetized, deplatformed, and kicked off of every place that we want to have a place to talk, because apparently we can't talk about what really happened. Maybe. All right. So, Kimberly, oh my God. Oh, here we go. One's got some questions. I didn't even read this. I'm going to put it up. I'm rolling the dice with one. Every time I put a long question up, I'm rolling the freaking dice. How much of your reputation is marketing instead of reality? If the truth costs you everything, would you still tell it? When your name is written in history, will it be an honor or in scandal? God, only time will tell, sir, how this is going to. Here's the thing. And I have to be careful how I will say everything again. All the time, somebody who, like a Rosa Parks, who refuses to give up her seat on the bus, or somebody who does something that at the time was considered a crime. There were people who lined up and said, that's a fucking crime. That person needs to go to jail. And then later on in time, they become a hero. And we're like, oh my God, thanks God to that person standing up against the system. So time will tell how this will come out. Time will tell. But at the time it happens, everyone clamors for law and says, and again, I don't want to make am I going to make this? Am I going to do this? Let's not forget that one of the comments that Luigi Manjoni allegedly said when referring to Ted Kaczynski's book on industrial society, violence never solved anything, is the word of cowards. That's the phrase of cowards. This country, one can argue, the United States was founded on violence. People broke away from England, from Britain, and came over here. And then when they decided that they wanted to have their independence, decided to shoot their own soldiers in the head from sniper positions behind trees. The British would line up and fight you like a man, toe to toe, but they would hide in bushes and shoot them in the head, the officers in the head, from guerrilla positions. Former soldiers of the British Army would shoot their own soldiers in the head on our territory, and we celebrate them today as freaking the fundamentally fathers, the founding fathers of this country, and great patriots. But at the time, I guarantee you, those MFers were considered traitors who were treasonous against their own country and the most despicable human beings ever. And we celebrate and worship them today in history books as brave people who took a stand against the big society. So history changes things at time, but at the time, it always is seen as the most horrendous thing that has ever happened. And then in time, we're like, maybe things changed after that day. Anything else? I'm really pushing the line on things that I should say. I shouldn't do this right before going on vacation. I'll come back and I won't have a YouTube channel.
Yes, you will. Don't worry.
One needs to go visit Luigi Manjoni at MDC. Yeah, Lou would probably be impressed by One's questions. He asked some. Although I have to say, a lot of us in America feel like, a lot of people in America, I shouldn't say of us, a lot of people in America feel like we understand Luigi Manjoni, like we think he's some big philosopher and really appreciates deep thought and philosophy because of some of the things that he's written and he's read. But we don't know him. Let's not forget we don't know Luigi Manjoni. Oh, by the way, Shelby says, by the way, does it make sense? Does it make anyone else mind wonder why Luigi had a Tinder account? He could have any girl he wanted. Again, I don't know. Luigi Manjoni is a good-looking guy. Don't get me wrong. Would he be as much of a sex symbol if it wasn't for the situation and the press that he's getting? I don't know. But by the way, I did have an article. I didn't put up on screen, but I did have an article about. Do you remember the scandal that came out that said Luigi Manjoni had 20 sex tapes that were going to come out and be released, and then some guy was trying to fetch millions and millions of dollars for the Luigi Manjoni porn tapes? Well, his attorney had come out and officially said that wasn't true. And the reason why I didn't show it on the screen today is because when I saw the article, it popped up like it was something new, and then it was like 5 months ago, and I'm like, that's so old. That is 5 months ago. But it was still on the top of my mind when you started talking about Tinder account. I'm like, what about those porn tapes that they said that he made? Wasn't a real thing. What else? I did have a lot of people, women did write to me and said that if I got a hold of the sex tapes, that they would be willing to go ahead and review them for me and let me know if they're legitimate. So if I got a copy of those, they wanted to make sure that I gave them to them so they could look them over and see if they thought they were legit. That was very nice of people.
Oh, Michelle says that there are 2 new pages of the letter log released.
Oh my God, Becky. All right, hold on. Look at her butt. So I write to Luigi Manjoni every single week, like I write to Brian Koberger, like I write to Rex Heuermann, like I'm going to start writing to Sean Mickey Steins, because I'm covering those cases and it's what I do. But Luigi Manjoni has on his website, luigimanjoniinfo.com, which is on my screen. How do I know if Luigi is receiving the mail that I'm sending him? He's been keeping this. Well, that date does not look like it's updated, though. So they said it's new. Let's go to the bottom. This is Luigi Manjoni's own handwriting where he writes to say, hey, look, I read every letter that you guys send me. And so let's just see at the very bottom if I've got anything new. But I think that's old. Let's see. I'm looking for my initials. There it is, right there. He got my letter. But I think I already knew this one. LF 28-623. That's my letter that he received. So I know he's seen that letter. And I want to say that is the last. So I'm not sure that there are new letters on there. So anyways, so yeah, so that one, and then he's got another one up here that he saw of mine from 6/18, I think. I don't know. It's a while back. Here's the thing. I've sent Luigi Manjoni 17 letters once a week, and I think he's received 3, maybe 2 even. I'm not sure. I want to say 6/18. Anyways, who cares? You don't need to see my initials on here to believe that he wrote, and who gives a shit? Until he writes back personally to me, it's all no, never mind. But what I do on my channel is I have a members only area for a whole whopping $3. If you want to see what I write to the inmates, like Luigi Manjoni and Brian Koberger and Rex Heuermann, then you could find that out for $3. And if they ever write back, their responses will also be a member only area. So I'm attempting to make connections with the people behind the headlines, if you will. All right. What else is new? 7/18 is new, you said? What? All right. So I read 7/25. So I don't know, maybe 7/18 is new. There's 7/18. Did they slip in a page that was not previously there? Is that what you're saying? Anyways, I digress. I'm going to look to see if my name's on the 7/18 area. No go. No dice. I'm looking there. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Stop me. Robin, stop me. This is not beneficial to anybody. All right. Anyways, any last minute comments, concerns? Again, let me remind you, I've got a website, by the way. If you are a fan of the Devil's Advocates, I'm slow growing right now. One of the things, I mean, I've got a million reasons I could give you excuses all day long. I'm slow growing right now, but there's every hope that we are going to continue to grow. I've got big names in the background for interviews that potentially are coming up. I've got big trips planned. I've got big things planned, but I'm covering 3 cases, and that sometimes hurts you a little bit. If I was all one thing all the time, people would know that I'm the place to go for that. But because I spread myself thin a little bit, that slows me down and we're okay. But where I was going with this is 2 things I wanted to show you on the way out today. On my website, if you are so inclined, I'm going to CrimeCon. I'm trying to get an interview with Brian Enton. I've sent from News Nation, and you're like, why the fuck would you talk to that guy? Well, he had an interview with Olivia Gonsalves. I know, that's a whole other thing. Don't even get me started. The Gonsalves family. Olivia Gonsalves said that she had a lot of questions that would go unanswered. I'm trying to get an interview with that if I can, but I'm going to go through Brian Enton. I'm going to see. I've been face to face with him a few times. He doesn't know who I am. But here's where I was going. If you want to buy me a drink or a coffee at CrimeCon, I'd really appreciate it. I'm going on fumes. My bank account is super, super low because I funded all the merchandise, which is the last thing I was going to show you. So if you are so inclined, cash app me some money for a donut or a coffee or something like that, or Venmo me some money. That'd be so cool. It's on my website. You could do that. And the last thing I want to show you is there is some merchandise left over. If you are so inclined to buy this, look at these beauties. A pullover with the Devil's Advocates logo on the side of it, a zipper hoodie. I'm going to try to show it. Look at that. That's what it looks like, the zipper hoodie. Got my logo on the front, got it down the arm, got it on the back. It's a slick looking thing. I've got women's tee, it's got pullover, I've got a zipper hoodie, and there's various sizes left. I had to make a print run on a very select number. I had pre-orders. They're all getting their shit shipped out tomorrow by my wife or the next day or two. And then there's a few left. I'm taking them with me to CrimeCon. You could drive your ass to Aurora, Colorado, or on my trip somewhere between Idaho and Aurora, Colorado, and meet me on I-84, and I'll hand deliver you a copy or one of these beauties right here. Anyways, that being said, have a great night, everybody. I will try to maybe give an attempt at signing in from the hotel room tomorrow night, somewhere in Ogden, Utah, I think, halfway or so to Aurora, Colorado. And then I will be doing updates on my Discord channel. Don't forget, I have a Discord channel. I have a Substack channel, devilsdocket.substack.com. I got a Facebook channel. I got an Instagram channel. I got a TikTok channel. I got Discord with a whole bunch of different topics that you can follow just the case that you're interested in. So you can follow Luigi Manjoni. You can follow Idaho 4. You can follow Rex Heuerman. You can follow Mickey Steins. I don't think I have that channel put up there, but I'll have that as well. So have a great night. Thank you so much. I will see you from CrimeCon. I'll be texting in my Discord channel on a special channel called CrimeCon Updates. And take it easy. Thank you, Aurora Moon, Paisley Park, Luigi Revolution, Michelle, Kimberly, Robin, Essie, Penny, if you're still here, Elaine, all of you. Shelby, thank you. And I hope Panda got something, got 2 minutes of having a question. Everyone is fantastic. Have a great evening.